All right, we're gonna get started here. This is Gamer for Fun. Gamer for Fun, and we're gonna be playing the 1988 cyberpunk classic Neuromancer, book written by William Gibson in 1983-ish, I want to say, and turned into a Commodore 64 classic video game 5 short years later. Now, this game is it's broken into a couple parts. It's a long adventure. Let's just it's definitely a long adventure. Uh this first episode, I'm going to go over a lot of the basics on how to play, the controls, what's actually happening, and then episodes after that, I'm just going to be getting right into it. It's a narrative adventure. So, and it has a wicked soundtrack here on the Commodore 64. Let me just bring the sound up a little bit here. It really is definitely worth a playthrough for sure. Now, I myself, I've only finished this game once, probably 3 years after it came out, and it was it was a struggle to finish it back then. Of course, we didn't have any of this cool hints and stuff that we got now. There's a clue book for this game. The clue book actually is a narrative story as well, so it's really worth worth a find if you can. Out there on the old cyberspace. What else? I can't really say anything else about this game. Um, Last time I played it was probably 32 years ago. So definitely gonna be touching upon the memory banks here. Now, I am playing it on a Commodore 64. Let me just bring the music down here. I am playing it on an emulated Commodore 64, and you're gonna see the reason why. One, there's a lot of disc flips. A lot of disc flips. Two, there's just so many notes you have to take in this game. It's intense. I shouldn't say it's intense. There's just a lot of notes you need to take. So without anything further, we're gonna get to the game. And like I said, this first episode's gonna be a little bit of explaining what's going on here. So, wicked title page. You can see I got my little notepad open there. We're going to start a new game. Oh, I got to adjust the old keyboard here. Okay, like I said, a lot of disk loads right now. It's just loading. And there's a lot of talking. Oh my gosh, I'm going to talk through most of this episode just to explain what's happening on the screen. I'm going to go into this game pretending that you have no idea the awesomeness of Neuromancer. You've never played it, you've never heard of it, you've never experienced it, and we're going to start this journey together. So, in that journey, you can see this console looks pretty wicked, and that journey is about to begin with our first disc flip here. Here we go. So, a couple things I'm going to explain, and then we'll get to it. Let me pull the music up a bit, just a little bit. All right. So there's a lot going on here on the screen. Bottom left, there's a whole bunch of little console icons. The bottom right is information. The top portion is interaction with other characters. I am Case, also known as Chad, in the blue jumpsuit there. And let me get into reading here. get the story started here. You've just spent the night sleeping face down in a plate of synth spaghetti in a bar called the Chatsuba. After rubbing the sauce out of your eyes, you can see Chiba Sky through the window, the color of television tuned to a dead channel. A PAX booth is on the wall. Ratz's prosthetic Russian arm whines as he wipes the bar. His teeth are a webwork of East European steel and brown decay. All right, speech balloons. Here we go. So, you can see he's interacting with this Ratz behind the bar there. Again, Commodore 64, 1988 graphics, working with 8-bit. So this is actually awesome what they could program back then. Ratz is saying, I don't care if you eat the spaghetti or sleep in it, you're still got to pay for it. 46 credits. And cue music. And a little spaceship going off in the background. It's those little touches that set the Commodore 64 version apart from the DOS version or the Amiga or the Atari ST, any of that stuff. Highly recommend getting to the Commodore 64 version. I am just going to bring the music down just a touch. Maybe a little more. There we go. If there's any music to listen to, I'll pull it up here. Let me figure out the keyboard controls here. Now I am playing it in an emulated Commodore 64, so it's going to be all keyboard for me. Something here, key. So I as items. Okay, you can see I have, I don't know if you can see that. That's item number 1, 6 credits. Item number 2, pawn ticket. And E for exit? Nope. X for exit. Okay, makes sense. What do we got here? Okay. Trucking around. Okay, so keyboard is used to walk around. Okay. Now, bottom left. Okay, you can see I'm cycling through a bunch of stuff with the M key. Date, credits to my name, 6. 2000, if I remember correctly, that is Constitution or Health. And the time. So, most important thing right now is the credits. And let's just work our way through the keyboard here, see what else does what. Oh, actually, that was a pretty cool sound effect. I'll bring it up again. Skills, none. So you can acquire skills throughout the game. It is an adventure game. It definitely is an adventure game. And, D, looks like disk options. Okay, D's disk options. So we can exit, save, load, new game, pause game. Okay, so if I can pause game from here, that means time is still ticking in real game time here. Let's get through a couple of these keys here. Oh. See what else? Oh, what do we got here? Oh, T. T was talk. All right, T was talk. Okay, speech balloons. You can see, sorry, Rats, I can't afford it. Want me to give it back. Now, like classic cartoons, this speech balloon is a series of those little thought bubbles, if you will. I haven't actually said that yet. There's a way to cycle through. Okay, how about if I owe you to you, you can trust me? I'm ready for dessert. Have you got any pudding for me to sleep in? I'd like to sleep on it some more if that's okay with you, Rats. Okay, so you can cycle through what you're going to say, and then I believe it's the carriage return or enter key to actually say what you want to say. I'm just going to hit them with this. Yep, speech balloon changed to an actual shark fin, upside down shark fin, I guess. So I'm going to say, sorry, rats, I can't afford it. Want me to give it back? pay up, cyber scum. Use the packs if you need money. All right, the packs. Okay, let me just get out of the way here so you can see what that PAX on the wall. That's a PAX. That's like a kind of a BBS terminal. I know I'm using a lot of terminology here that you probably don't know at the moment. If you haven't grown up in the 80s, you don't know probably what a BBS is, the bulletin board system. In this case, it's a PAX terminal. We'll get through that in a couple episodes here. Oh, R is doing something. T is talk. Whoops. Once I hit T, I think I'm committed to talking here. Okay, let's tell him. How about if I owe it to you? You can trust me. Pay up, Cyberscon. Use the packs if you need money. Okay. Well. All right. So there's no way about it. I got to use the PAX terminal here. R, I think, is something to do with cyberspace. We'll get to cyberspace in a couple minutes. Actually, in a couple episodes, we'll get to cyberspace. I'm going to try and keep these episodes short. There's going to be a lot of them. Like I said, this is an adventure, narrative adventure journey through the cyberspace world of Neuromancer. And how do we get to? I'm going to guess P is PAX terminal. Side 1 and drive. Okay, a lot of disk flips. A lot of disk flips. Find the right one. There we go. All right, opening up the PAX terminal. Public access system, PAX. Sorry, I had to take a little sip of water there. PAX. Okay, so in 1988, there was a little thing called code wheels to use for game copy protection. In addition to copy protection on the Commodore 64 discs, there was also a lot of things that used code wheels or manuals that said like, hey, look up this word in the manual and tell me what you get. And then they went to code wheels because people were like photocopying the manual to get around the copy protection. In a lot of cases, if you entered the wrong word or the wrong phrase, you had, sometimes the game didn't let you continue. Sometimes bad things happened in the game because it couldn't advance the story very well. In this case, it's a code wheel. If you don't know what a code wheel is, I suggest you look it up. Look up the Neuromancer code wheel. Basically, it's a paper wheel, came in the box. You got a couple discs or wheels, if you will. You turn them, you have to align 3 words in this case. Gemeinschaft, gentleman loser, and AI. You line those guys up on a code wheel, and it spits out a number that you then type in. And if you get it right, the game goes on. If you get it wrong, you're stuck there until you get the correct word. So, very important you got that code wheel. Now, there's a lot to read here. We're at about 15 minutes of episode time here. Let's go through just a couple of these things, and then I'm actually going to pause this video here. So let's look at the first time PAX user info. I'm not going to read this off, but there is a lot to read here. I am going to read a lot of the narrative in the game, but this is definitely not one of the items I'm going to read, because this is just what they call flavor text at the moment. Or nowadays they would call flavor text. Back then it was like critical story parts. In this case, it's just going through a lot of the acronyms. And basically just telling you a little bit about the pack system and all that kind of stuff. We're still going through it. Sorry if you're just listening and not actually following along or watching the video. I apologize. I am not reading that part. Oh, a little bit of cool music here. I'll turn it up just a tiny bit. All right. Notes. This game is all about recording notes and keeping notes. If you don't keep detailed notes in this game, you have zero chance. In fact, the manual for this game has got 2 pages just so you can keep notes. Specifically, notes on all the critical information that you need. In fact, the manual actually, let me touch upon that. The manual actually has a ton of hints in it to get started. And maybe that's how come the first time I played this game, it took me a long time to figure out what the heck to even do, because I was just jumping in. I didn't read the manual at all. You know, years later I read the manual and I was like, oh, had I known that, that would have helped. That wasn't my style. So, let's so because I kind of know that we got to go to the bank here, so that the packs, you access your bank terminal. The First Orbital Bank of Switzerland, you can see bank account name. I got a BAMA ID. The chip equals 6 and account equal 2,000. So the chip is how much cash I got on hand. Account is how much is in the actual bank. I can look at transaction records. You can see what I've done in the past here. Today's date, I downloaded 120 credits. Later on, I downloaded 56. Later on, 75. And it looks like I was fined 1,000 credits today somehow. So in this case, I'm actually just going to download credits. I'm going to grab a little bit of flash cash. So I'm going to grab like 1,000 here. You can see, boom, transferred to the chip. Okay. In the same case, I can also upload credits if I ever wanted to. 50, perfect. Okay, so let's exit to main. All right, real quick, we're gonna look at the Night City news. And this is just basically giving you some information on what happened here. First item, today, bar food declared fatal. Bar food declared fatal. The Chatsuba bar will be permanently closed today, according to the Chiba Health Department. Contaminated food and toxic beer are the main reasons for the closure, although there have been other health violations. So far, 87 fatalities have been reported in connection with this investigation. Most of the fatalities occurred with Chatsuba patrons who drank more than 3 glasses of beer and ate the synth spaghetti, which is based on a home recipe. Oh no. Spaghetti and beer combined in the bodies of the victims to create an explosive chemical which was ignited by stomach acids. Well, thankfully I didn't eat any, but instead slept in it. Next article, Cowboy disappears. Rumors are flying among the elite cyberspace cowboy community. Well-known logic gatecrasher Jonathan E. Oh, I'm surprised that's not Johnny Mnemonic. But Jonathan E. has mysteriously vanished, causing speculation that he was killed in cyberspace by black ice, an illegal form of base protection. All right. News in brief. What do we got? Farm animals kidnap UFO. Sheep says we were just out joyriding. Okay. Man eats his own head. He thought it was a donut, says the owner of Donut World, where the incident occurred. Son of Fuji Prez missing. Mother wails, he's gone. Prez of Fuji Electric denies any connection with rumored corporate takeover. Okay, kind of like the tabloids. There's some truth to some of this. Some of it's just garbage, flavor text. Now, I think what I'm going to do is I am going to sit tight here. I'm going to end this episode. We got a lot of bulletin board stuff to go over here real quick. Oh shoot, you know what I got to do? I got to update my notes with my Bama ID. I talked about it, but I never did. Because this is critical later on. You absolutely need this number later. Bama. I can't remember the acronym for Bama, what it stands for, something about banking. I don't know. And money. Banking and money account. I don't know. We'll call it banking and money account. I don't know. It's just for fun. Okay, let's exit out of here. And I'm actually going to exit the PAX system. And D to hit the disks. And shoot, that cursor's right over top of it. I'm going to say that's an S. Save game. I'm going to save this. I only got 4 game slots to save games. I'm going to save this as game 1. It's going to save, and there's a certain disk you got to save onto. I think it's disk 1, and I think we're still on disk 1 here, so we didn't have to flip anything there. All right, I am going to end the episode here, and we will be back, and we will look through all of the bulletin board system. We'll go over a couple more things, and then we'll get into Neuromancer. Hope everybody's looking forward to the ride, and we'll see you again shortly with the next episode. Thanks.